Welcome to At Home with Jonathan and Mary.
Today we're in the kitchen and we're going to make some homemade pizza. Before we get started, we've got a little bit more prep work to do. We're going to start by getting our Jimmy Dean sausage all cooked up. We've got some sauce simmering and I've been grating some mozzarella cheese. Let's get started.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take my suit coat off, roll up my sleeves, and get this sausage going.
Look weird, but nice. Hear that sizzle? Would you like a spoon?
Yes. Get that out of here. I'll get this, break this up a little bit in here. And while I'm cooking that, Mary's going to start the pizza dough, and we're doing a homemade crust.
So we're going to make some homemade pizza crust, and to start, I've put about 3 cups of flour into the stand mixer and just a dash of salt. This is actually a homemade recipe that my babysitter taught me when I was 10 years old, and I've carried it through all these years with my family. It's a big treat for everyone. So we've got the 3 cups of flour in there. Got about 1.5 cups of warm water here, and we're going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of yeast. Personally, I like to buy my yeast in bulk instead of the little packets. I find that I do enough baking that having that yeast in bulk makes sure that I always have fresh yeast on hand. We want to whisk that up with our fork, and then we'll let that sit until it gets a nice froth on the top, and you can actually see it start to froth right now. So we'll give that a minute or two. Once we get a nice layer of solid froth on the top, we'll add that to the stand mixer and get our dough going.
Alright, so as you see, the sausage is coming right along here. We'll take a look here at the yeast to see how that's doing.
And we've got a nice layer of froth on our yeast. You can kind of even see a line between the regular water and the froth. So we'll give that a little stir, and then we'll pour that into our stand mixer and turn that on. We've got the dough hook on. Lock that in place and let that go. We want to knead this until we get a nice firm ball that we can then take out, divide in half, and roll into our pizza crust. I'm going to turn it down and get some of this flour from the edges mixed in. There we go. Put that back down, lock it. Good. And we'll give that a couple minutes. So the dough is done. Let's go ahead and pull that hook up and take a look at that beautiful ball of dough that we've got. We'll pull that out, divide it in two, and start rolling it into 2 pizza crusts. Alright, so this dough is very, very soft and a little bit gooey. A little bit of flour on my hands helps, and then just letting a little bit more flour work its way into that dough will go a long way. I want to go ahead and break that into 2 somewhat equal sized balls of dough. I'm going to take one of these balls, set it aside for the second pizza, and work on the first ball. So a little bit more kneading. Even though the KitchenAid has done most of the kneading, it's still good to get that kneading in there so that we lose some of that stickiness. We don't want to lose all of the elasticity of the dough, but we do want some of that stickiness to vanish so that we can easily move this from our rolling board onto our pizza tray. So I have this amazing marble rolling pin, which I love. The weight of the rolling pin makes rolling the dough out that much easier because the weight actually kind of forces it into a smaller, kind of forces it into a longer, more stretched out piece of dough. And our pizza pans are actually pretty big. We have really good sized pizza pans. And so I want to roll this until it really covers almost this entire board. And you can see there that one was a little bit sticky coming up. So add a little more flour so that we can keep that from sticking. And just continuing to roll that out into a beautiful big circle. I wish that I could toss it in the air.
Oh, right.
You know?
Right, yeah.
Like in the restaurants, that would be so cool to have that skill.
Yeah, I don't have that skill either.
Something we could learn, right?
Right.
Alright. I'll get a little flour on the underside this time. And that is looking pretty wonderfully messy and spread out. So the pizza crusts have all been rolled out into 2 large pizza tins. They've been rising for a little bit to let that yeast kind of take effect. And then we go through with a fork and we just poke some holes all around on the pizza crust. And that makes it so that the dough doesn't give you this kind of over the top bubble underneath your sauce. So just a real generous amount of holes. And now they're ready to top. On the stove, we've had simmering some sauce all afternoon, and it smells amazing. It's just some basic tomato sauce with Italian herbs, extra basil, some garlic, and just let it simmer. So you're pouring about half of the sauce on each of the pizzas. And then we'll use the spatula to kind of spread it out and get a nice even layer. I'll get another spatula so that we can both work at the same time on separate pizzas. Now this was actually 2 15-ounce jars or cans of tomato sauce, and then adding in the different herbs. So this was actually 2 cans of tomato sauce. I believe they were like 15-ounce cans. And then we added in just our favorite herbs and had it kind of simmering throughout the day. It gives you, it's thick because it's been simmering, but it's not an overpowering tomato taste on the pizza. You want some help?
Yeah.
Okay. get water in that pan as soon as possible too.
Yeah.
There. That looks really nice. Now one thing you can do if your sauce is more on the runny side is you can actually kind of tip your pizza at different angles and let the sauce flow. But because we had our sauce simmering all day, we ended up with a thicker sauce. And so, so we're not able to tip and spread. And now it's time for the best part, which is putting the actual pizzas together. It's important to use the freshest ingredients that you can find and pick your favorite ingredients and put your favorite things on. We've got sausage, pepperoni, black olives, green pepper, and some red onions. We've also got freshly grated cheese that I grated about half an hour ago. You always want to use freshly grated cheese when you're making homemade pizza. I'm the type of person who likes to put the cheese on first, then the vegetables, and then the meat goes on last. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Now, because we have a picky eater in the house, we're going to do one pizza without any vegetables. The picky eater will eat the meat, but not the vegetables. So we'll leave one pizza without vegetables. When I was a kid, I was made to pick around the things that I didn't like and learned real quickly that it was a lot easier to just eat it the way that it was made. But I've spoiled my kids, and so no vegetables on one of the pizzas. Actually, maybe we'll do half a pizza.
Right. Yeah, my kids were raised with you eat what you get or you go without. So
Yeah.
they eat what they're given. But that works.
Very nice.
I think that's pretty good coverage on that one.
Now we're just gonna
Fill in a few spots.
fill in a little bit more on the edges.
Okay.
Get your edges. And we'll just dump the rest. Okay. You guys start popping open some vegetables?
Sure.
Should I do the half?
Yeah,
No.
if you're gonna, yeah. Why don't you do that?
Okay, so half of mine won't have any vegetables.
Easier for me.
When I was a kid, there was this pizza place in town that put black olives on so thick that that's all you saw on the top of the pizza was black olives. That was good.
I think that's pretty good.
Now you
coverage
gotta
on
get
that
your
one.
outskirts a little better.
Okay.
Because remember, homemade pizza, we cut in squares. And so we want those outskirt squares. You can just pick up your olives and spread them a little more.
Oops.
We want those outskirt squares to all have a good sprinkling of toppings for flavor.
Yeah, that looks pretty good, I think.
Oh, one hit the floor. Using some green next.
Yeah, I think so.
pops against that black and white. It just, it adds such a burst of color. It's also got a nice crunch to it when you're eating the pizza.
Right. Yeah, it's not too bad as far as flavor goes, that's for sure.
Right. And now when you're making your own pizza at home, you can pick what you like and do what you want on your pizza.
Did not know that you had this.
Oh yeah, some of the onion I didn't slice. And now look at that purple coming in. Again, the color, the burst of color that we get from the different vegetables on the pizza. Usually I try to buy mushrooms, but I forgot, so no mushrooms this time. All right, the best part, the sausage.
Yes.
And it's nice that you left a little.
Okay.
I saw you.
That's good sausage.
Yes, always use Jimmy Dean sausage. I can't emphasize that enough. Normally I'm not loyal to brands when it comes to different ingredients, but Jimmy Dean sausage is the only way to go when you're making homemade pizza. Thank you. Pepperoni. Pepperoni goes on top because you'll end up with these little bubbles of grease in the pepperoni. And so you can kind of swab those off after the pizza comes out of the oven. And if you like your pepperoni slices to be thicker, you can actually buy pepperoni in like a sausage roll and slice it for yourself.
All right, and these look like they're ready to go into the oven.
Oh, they look so good. And they're not even cooked.
Want me to leave that in there?
You can leave it. Or not, I don't care. Alright, let's open this oven. We've had it preheating at 450 degrees. We're going to put both pizzas in at the same time. And we're going to check them in about 8 minutes. They actually don't take that long to cook. There they go. One thing that's really nice about our oven is we've got the convection option. And so the convection option will actually, something that I'll use for maybe the last 2 minutes to give it a little bit more of a brown on the top. I don't use this for breads, but things like pizza gives it that little extra crisp on the top. Look at how beautiful that is. I think we should probably give it another minute or two, but it is coming along beautifully.
Okay.
Look at that beautiful pizza. And the other beautiful pizza. What do you think?
Yeah, they look real good. They both look just incredible.
And not too much work either, is it?
No, it wasn't too bad.
I mean, really, rolling out the dough and grating the cheese, I think, are the most work. But grating the cheese you can do in advance, just like with the prep of the vegetables. So it makes the assembly not so laborious.
Right. And then we just need to let this cool for just a few minutes. We'll cut this up into slices and give it a try.
You want a hot dog? And I'm of the belief that homemade pizza gets cut into squares.
Dang.
Oh, look at that cheese.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's gonna be good. Oh, shit.
You're showing off with that cheese, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
That's real good. That's real good pizza. The dough, not crisp. It's kind of a softer dough, but it's still real good.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
are
that's
we
some
going to
good-
tell the kids the pizza's ready?
I don't know. Maybe we'll just sit down here and eat ourselves. So. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.